Hello, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Milk here, picking up with episode 6. So as you'll have seen in the last episode, we just wiped our neighbours, the VVV tribe. And so I'm just going to start this episode with a little base tour. We've made some massive upgrades. So the first difference you'll notice is the fact we've got tech now, tech turrets. Massive shout out to the VVV tribe. As I said in the last episode, the artifacts weren't there when we raided them. But the guy reached out to me and he actually sorted us out with the artifacts. They'd taken them out of the base knowing we were coming back and hidden them somewhere on the map. So you can see we've got the tech rep, crafting area, indie forge, vaults, with a chem bench. So we're pretty well set up. We've got loads of turrets including tech turrets. We've got our teleporter now, which is making getting in and out of this rat hole so much easier. Kitchen with our pyramanes. And then we've got loads of space under here for breeders. Our RGs are in here. We've got our little raising area. Tame just raising some Mororaptors. This rat hole is just fantastic. Lots of internals. Here's our PT breeders. And it keeps going down and down and down. So we've got space here. We're just going to put more breeders in. We've got some carbos down here. We've got space for smaller things, ovises or dodos. And then we've got the basement floor. Our stegos down here just popping out eggs so we can start raising them and take on our other enemies. So as you'll remember, back in episode 2 we got fobbed on by the SE boys, and we haven't managed to find out where they were yet. So that's the next priority. Now that we've got rid of the immediate threats on floating island in the center, we're going to find the SE boys before they fob us again. Although I'm feeling pretty confident that even if they rock up now, nobody's getting in here. Oh, there's even a platform up there where we're raising Rexes. This is just a nutty rattle. Imagine trying to run through this. So, off I go to do some scouting. And here we have the SE boys. So here's the south part of the center ocean. I found what looks to be a crafting platform. They've got their indie forges here and their fabricators. Their turrets were offline. So I'll just float in here, destroy the generator and start recording. But this does smell like they must have a rat hole nearby. And these guys were farmers. So I'm trying to make as many electronics as possible. They've got lots of metal, lots of pearls here. I can't carry it all back to our rat hole, which is 3,000 meters away. So we're just making as many electronics as possible. There's even 200 black pearls. Tamed wants us to move a rat hole into the deep ocean as a backup. We've got a nice level Dunkleo, a nice Tuso, loads of loot, so this is perfect. We should hopefully be able to make some vacuum chambers back at base with that, and make Tamed loves vacuum chambers, so this is going to make his dreams come true. So this is the platform. So we're going to try and find their rat hole. It must be nearby, and sure enough, I reckon it was here. Now unfortunately it looks like the Alpha have raided them. Why do I think that? Well, this rat hole is just above that crafting plat. Outside, the Alphas have got a bunch of foundations and a bed called Fob. And I haven't managed to spyglass it yet, but a tech generator and a TP. This is probably the Alphas trying to block this rat hole. So we're just doing a little player only turret soak with the RG, which hopefully will run out of ammo before we run out of life. It is just an auto, so we should be solid here. But this does mean that I think the SE boys have gotten raided and wiped, which explains why their crafting plat ran out of juice. It's gone offline. So on the plus side, our first enemies from the cluster look like they have been totally destroyed. But the sad news is, it wasn't us that destroyed them. So I'm just going to soak out this turret just for the Ellie and that gen. These are budget alphas, so I'm not expecting huge profit, but our ability to get more Ellie is rather limited because the alphas are blocking the artifacts. So any Ellie is going to be a win. There we go. Soaked, 3k life left. Let's have a look. Free profit. We've got, okay, what's that, like 13 Ellie? Better than nothing. We'll take it, and they don't know we're here. Not going to blow up their stuff because we want to get all that profit back from the raid, get those electronics back to base. So here we are. That evening we wait till prime time to start this raid, because this is against Necropithecus is his tribe name. This is the kid that rocked up to one of our first raids and tried to counter us, who we collapsed and got that higher level theory from. He's continued griefing us in global chat every day since then, saying he's friends with the alpha and we can't touch him, so we turned up here in the hope that we'd find him online. But he isn't online, so we're just set up our fob, just having a look around. You can see it's quite a PvE base. The only reason he's survived this long is he's friends with the alphas. So here's our fob. He's got a sneaky little rat hole over here, which I reckon is where all of his juicy loot is. It's just a little bit underneath Skull Island, which we're going to pretend we haven't seen yet. And we'll come back at another point to pop into this. But this looks like a little loot stash. Assuming it is still his, it must be his. So we're just over at the main base, which is probably more like a dino pen. Just getting set up, having a bit of fun, soaking. He should be on any minute. Dame's there testing out the Mororaptor. It's a modded PvP cluster only dino that does some damage mitigation. So Dame's just having a go with that, seeing what he can get done. Me and Drams, oh yeah, Buddy Drams is here for this raid, driving our raid raft. We're just soaking some turrets. This guy's got quite a lot of ammo. Like he's another farmer. Maybe the alphas donate stuff, but we're just chilling here, soaking the initial bullets, so we can hopefully get into the main compound and see what there is going on in there. I love the sound of ARB popping away into a stego. Here's Tamed, see what we can get done on the Mororaptor. This was probably our first mistake of the raid. So James does the neutral check, and I'm an idiot, and I go and swipe as well. And suddenly we're swarmed by all of his dinos. We should have really thought this guy is probably going to keep the dinos on neutral. We could have just popped one and kited them all away, but we didn't think about that. So here we are, fighting all of his water dinos. This was my first experience in the game of these Zefactinus. That thing has absolutely torn the Mororaptor apart in a matter of seconds, and you can see here it does that bleed debuff in the top right. But not only does it do a bleed debuff, the bleed debuff stacks. So I think he's got 3 Zefactinus here. You can see it's stacked twice on me there. It does percentage damage, so it doesn't matter how much health your stego gets. It's going to get absolutely shredded. Not to mention all the other dinos that are keeping me stuck and pinning me down. You can see Tame swimming around over there. Drams has gone to get some RG for backup, but with those Zefactinus, like, they are something else. I've really got to pay them more respect in the future. Well, poor Stego doesn't stand a chance. 3 bleed debuffs stacked on top of one another. I'm not sure what percentage they do, but they'll be similar to Thyla's and everything else that does 5% damage or 3% damage per stack. So a few of those, and your Stego doesn't stand a chance. Managed to kill a fish, but yeah, I killed a frog. Little vengeance. And there goes his anglerfish. We don't have loads of stegos, we're still pretty poor, so you need to try and preserve at least the saddle. But yeah, mistakes were made. Now we're just going to do a bit of a cleanup job on the dinos, get rid of these spinos. That'll do. And plan our next. So Drams is in there with Tamed on the Stego. Now that all those neutral dinos have chilled out a bit. Still soaking those initial turrets. Like, he might have only got autos and heavies, but he's done alright with the ARB farm. Gotta hand it to him. Some of his allies have logged on. Just keep an eye out to see if there are any players around. Like I said, we wanted this one to be online, but for some reason it's evening time and it's just not here. We haven't really got the gear to pop into this. We've got a bit of C4, so I guess if we could soak everything we'll get in, but the intent here was just to have a bit of fun really. Tame getting a solid soak in. And those heavies. Oh, neutral PTs. Just get rid of these. More neutral dinos. Ruining the raft, I guess they must have hit more. Tamed is trying out soaking on the new Archelon. It's like a big turtle, like a carbo that can fit 4 people on top. But I noticed that he's currently soaking an X-Plant. So for those of you that don't know, X-Plants, they don't do very much damage. They do the nasty debuff that ruins your screen and makes you go slow, but it also stops healing. That includes Veggie Cakes and Daedon heal. So there's no point in us wasting Daedon on healing him, but he needs it fast. So I'm going to try and pick up drams to fire some fire arrows. Fire arrows are really good against the X-Plants because obviously you can't rocket. The turrets around it will hit the rocket, but the fire arrows do quite a bit of damage. So the drams are going to take out the X-Plant, hopefully before Tame dies. And once that debuff goes away, we should be able to heal him up. Unless Drams just hits neutral dinos. I don't even know why this guy didn't get aggro before. But anyways, we'll dispatch this RG if I can get aggro. Oh, he's close enough to our fob, he's going to die in a second. There we go. So Drams is just taking out the X-Plant. And wait 10 seconds. And once the debuff is worn off, start the healing. So you can just leave the Daedon up here on passive heal, and he will heal up our Archelon that Tamed is soaking on. Meanwhile, me and Drams are going to do another soak, heavy soak, with my last Stego. Absolute work here. But he does have a lot of ARB, to be fair to the guy. He is a farmer. That is a heavy soak. Poor fella. We've soaked a lot. We've killed all of his neutral dinos. But you'll see there in the top, Tamed has just got clapped. The guy came online, and from somewhere he's pulled out a turret raft with about 20 auto turrets on. So unfortunately, this was our last Stego. We don't have any rockets. We've got no way of dealing with this turret raft. So unfortunately, despite us wanting an online raid, there's not a lot we can do against that. So we've had to pack up. It's really annoying. We just didn't scout properly before we started. So we've packed up to come back another day, either with more Stegos or with some rockets. A disappointing end to what we hoped was going to be a bit of online PvP, but that is the nature of turret rafts. So that concludes the episode. Thanks for watching. Look out for the next upload, where we continue our rat hole adventure on Center 135 on the PvP modded cluster. Take care and peace out.